Hello, my name is David Hamilton, and I'm the founder of the America's Future Series. The America's Future Series is a non-political speaker program focused on issues impacting U.S. global competitiveness and national security. We are very proud to have Major General Lee Levy, the United States Air Force retired, join us in 2020 on our advisory board.
I think the conversation is about free market forces versus national security and economic security. Right? I mean, that's really what happens here. You end up with one vendor in the marketplace because that's what the market leads you to, because there's, let's say, not enough. I use B-52 parts. I use this example all the time because it's very easy for people to relate to. Nobody builds B-52s anymore. There's not much of a business model for that. And so over time, you find yourself there's only one guy who does this or one guy who makes that for the B-52. Because we, the government, by the way, have bad buying habits, right? We buy 10 widgets every 10 years instead of a couple of widgets every year. So part of this is, to balance market forces with necessary resilience and redundancy. And it begins with good national supply policy that says this bucket of stuff is really important to us, and we don't want to expose ourselves to risk of running out or not having enough. This stuff is interesting, but we're not going to commit policy or dollars to ensuring it. And it's maybe not as clear as you would think, right? People would say, well, gosh, we sure want to have chips or 5G or stealth technology stuff in this bucket over here, stuff we always want to make sure we can do it ourselves. But quite honestly, there's a lot of things that are required for national security that aren't nearly as glamorous as stealth coatings or something like that, right? But we don't understand that. So it's somewhere between buying toilet paper and super nifty black boxes. There's a range of policy options that we have to craft. We have to decide on and craft policy for, and then financially incentivize. And to some extent, the DoD does that, but Congress normally gets in the way. But when we rephrase that, the GAO normally gets in the way, then comes in and criticizes the DoD, usually 5 to 10 years after it happens, and said, hey, why did you pay for 2 vendors to have a capability to do something when you didn't buy that many, and it would have been cheaper for you to just have one vendor? Well, because from a national security perspective, this is about war fighting and war winning, not about pure economics.